Well, happy Sunday. Thought I'd give you an update, give you an idea of what I've been up to this week in between working on some client models and doing the things. So I was able to get more of the bench work done on the upper level, which is the Port Alberni sub. So that's the Loon Lake trestle, which will be about here. Loon Lake siding, for those of you who know the ENN, will be here, and then we get a little bit further. There's a bog that the train crosses over just east of Loon Lake, and then we got Summit Lake, which would be down here. So you get to see Summit Lake. That's Port Sub again, and wrap around here will be Cameron Lake, and we got 14.6 trestle right here, which will happen right here, and head a little bit more east, and we got another trestle, which should be up here, and we come along, there'll be another, there's kind of two trestles here, there's on a bit of a curve, and then there's some rocks, and then it just jets right into another trestle, which will be here, and we get further down, and that's will be the Cameron Lake siding, which will be right up here. Helix. Been working on getting some LED strip lights put in, trying to do things a little bit more organized than my last layout. So trying to run some wires, get things a little bit neater, get the lights going. Kind of most of the bus lines for the bench work that I have done is run. Different colors for different blocks on the layout. Yeah, getting close to connecting the Helix to the port sub. Here, of course, there'll be a backdrop. That'll be a wall here. So this is the Courtney storage track and FMC, which will be here. And then Parksville Station will be there. And there's the tail end of the port sub. Or port turn, sorry, and which will be up here. The ramp track will be right about here, and then the Port Alberni storage track siding will be here, and of course it'll just disappear into the Helix. There'll be a scenery backdrop here, and then of course the Courtney sub, the Victoria sub goes around the back of the Helix, and will come out here, and of course we'll run into the peninsula in the middle, and we'll have Qualicum Beach right here, wrap around, come around the end of the peninsula, and then Dunsmuir, of course, come around to where I am, and then there'll be Buckley Bay out here, and then we're going to come around the corner, and then we're into the home stretch into Courtney for the two pole yards, the ICG propane, the ramp track, and then the runaround tracks down at the Courtney station. So again, for those of you who've been following along, the upper level on the top deck here, the port sub, the whole top deck will be Port Alberni with a pulp mill. I did manage to get up my circuit breakers and my proto throttle wired up. I'm going to look at getting some sort of piece of plexiglass to put over top of the circuit breakers. Just in case anybody gets a little crazy and decides to kick them. Yeah, so that's the upper level of the port sub, the mill, and here the yard by Alberni Pacific, where they store the steam locomotive, propane in the back, and then the train station at the very end of the peninsula. So this is on the second level. And of course on the bottom level, like I said, there'll be Island Pole, Chinook, or I think it was CIL, ICG, and the ramp track, and then of course the runaround track. So what I was able to finish this week, and well, it's about 90% done, is a staging yard. So this is the engine staging down at the far end of the staging yard, which will be underneath Wellcox, which Wellcox will be in the middle, kind of where the transition of the blue and the gray is, but did manage to get everything wired up and going. So the each track that's on the staging, you'll be able to turn it on and off, so you'll be able to store engines and such on there, same at either end. And just simple toggle switches, just on off. And I had a bunch of old switches laying around, so I've had to monkey around with a few of them, but got them all working. And of course we're going to come down to the end where there'll be the makeshift barge, which will go from the staging deck up to Wilcox, where we'll pull cars off the barge, push fresh cars onto the barge, drop it down, we'll pull the cars off the barge into the staging yard, and then we'll push a set of cars back into onto the barge. So right above staging, of course, this will be where the slip is for the barge, which will be here. Working with a company right now to get a motorized lift, which will go from staging deck to Wilcox, up and down. Yeah, so Wilcox, I'm going to try and do it fairly close to form. Thanks to all those folks who had taken all these pictures back in the day. I've taken a bunch, but these ones sure help. So we're going to try and do Wilcox fairly close to what it is here, maybe a little condensed, and may not be able to get the C yard in, but definitely we'll have the B yard, the engine storage, probably the yard office, and scale track, and where all the vans were parked here. Probably have that in there as well. We'll see. This whole section from where that drill is all the way down here and around the corner will be Wilcox. So there's going to be lots going on. For those of you who know Wilcox, if you're standing on the bridge here looking towards the slip that way, and then looking this way, if you're standing on the bridge, there'll be locomotives here, and then the yard wraps up that way, where Wilcox in real life will wrap around the corner. Mine will go that way. So I'm just waiting on some wire that I ordered, which should be here sometime this week, and I'll get the engine storage underneath here wired up. Once that's wired up, then I can start doing the bench work for Wilcox, which will just be a simple open grid 1x4, because it's all flat. Will be open grid 1x4 with some 5/8 plywood on top for the layout deck. And then I'm not sure if you guys ever seen, but Donnacona board, that's what I'm putting down for sub base on, and then put the track down. That's what I did with the staging yard. This is Donnacona board. I painted it, and then was able, it's super easy to lay track on and put not needles, but track spikes into. It holds really well as well. Yeah, so give you an idea of what's going on. Just about ready to go across the door and start heading towards Port Alberni on the second level here. And I'm kind of waiting to do the peninsula kind of last, so I can have an idea how far out I can come here and do the end of the peninsula. But yeah, coming along. It's been a work in progress. It's been an adventure doing this one, but I think it's coming along fairly quick, and yeah, quite enjoying it. It was a good feeling to have the staging yard all wrapped up and everything running good. Ran an old proto Jeep 9 that I had. She was a little finicky on the switches, so I thought I'd run one of my more not so great working locomotives here and see how well it worked. So yeah, it's been fun. I appreciate all your comments and you guys following along. You know, it's been good. This time of year is the best time to do it, and I'm hoping, you know, probably money wise anyways, if I can swing it, I might have a good part of the peninsula done by New Year's, or if not early January. I definitely have all the bench work done for Wilcox. I have some old LED strip lights that I'm going to put underneath the layout for staging lights. And yeah, just kind of trucking along, and yeah, should be fun. Stay tuned. Probably do another video in a week, and you guys can see how it's going. Appreciate it, and yeah, take care.